Welcome to the Weekly Whatever. You can find us on Twitter at the Weekly Whatever. Look for the yellow W's. We are very active and would love to get you involved in the show. You can also find us on Facebook at the same thing, Weekly Whatever. And check out our Tuesday show, Tidbit Tuesday. It's just a short form podcast. I am one of your hosts, Aaron. With me, as always, is Chilson.
Hello.
Kyle.
How's it going?
And returning after an extended hiatus is Rhino.
I am back.
How much?
Hello, everybody.
How much D&D were you playing?
We went on a 2-week D&D bender, dude. So that was the problem. Is that I couldn't record for 2 weeks. I mean, we just ordered in pizza every night and played D&D for 18 hours a day.
Hell yeah! What class were you, man?
Yeah.
Awesome job, dude.
The skater boy class.
He was a skater boy. Skater boy.
That's my favorite variant.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
What's it actually called? Zoomer. Zoom is a class, right? I'm getting this from Stranger Things. I forget about it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely accurate.
Oh, it's fake. Okay.
Yeah, it's completely fake.
The new girl, I forget what her fucking name is. In season 2, she tries to become the Zoomer of the party.
So that's Zoe Deschanel.
What the fuck? Huh? No.
What?
She in the
Wait,
show?
is that new chick?
And the new girl?
Season 2?
No, the new girl in Stranger Things. Are you listening to me? Oh my god. What the fuck?
I think I was listening to you too much.
Okay?
Yeah.
What the
No,
New girl.
that was
New girl. Yeah.
that wasn't unexcusable. Come on.
Yeah, New
That-
girl. It's
that
a
was-
show.
I said, yeah, I did, but I said the new girl in Stranger Things. Like, were you not listening at all?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the
You're
fuck
an
up.
idiot.
Our personal
As you
social
can see,
media.
the toxicity is back and in full form.
Oh,
With-
what have I done wrong? What the fuck?
Our personal
Hello?
social medias are in the description and at the end of the podcast. All right, let's get into our first whatever. Kyle, what do you got for us?
Oh man, me? I wasn't prepared.
Wow.
We were talking about the nitty gritty stuff.
Come on, man.
So this morning, Conor, there was an arrest warrant put out for Conor McGregor. Last we heard, he was caught. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Confirmed?
he's apparently going to be charged for assault.
That's the UFC fighter, correct?
Yes.
No,
the
it's
little-
WWE, dude. WWE.
Oh,
No, how do you not know that, dude? What the fuck?
So, if anyone doesn't know, I watched it's like a 2-minute TN video on YouTube where pretty much it shows Conor McGregor throwing a dolly or a hand truck, whatever you want to call it, through a party bus. And
Wait, can we just pause for 1 second? What the fuck is a dolly? Isn't that like what kids play with when they're like 5 years old?
Yes.
Yeah, but a dolly is also like a kind of like a piece of equipment. Also,
Yeah, like a hand
Yeah,
cart,
so-
like a hand cart.
Yeah,
You guys
no.
call that a dolly?
Well, in
What-
America,
what do you
it's
call
called
it?
either a hand
We
truck
call it a
or
wheelie
dolly.
boy.
It's a trolley. You just call it a
Wheelie
fucking
boy.
trolley. You don't just call
A
it a trolley.
trolley?
Oh, yes.
No,
it's
a
a
trolley's
trolley.
what you
dolly.
ride.
Like
yeah,
a hand
you ride a
trolleys.
trolley.
What?
You ride a trolley.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you guys, like shopping carts? What do you guys call those?
A
We call those
shopping
trolleys.
cart.
It's a shopping cart.
It's a fucking trolley. No, we call it a
No,
trolley.
no,
Yeah,
No.
legit.
no.
Legit. Yeah.
Well, it's
I will
wrong.
fucking
I'm sick.
follow
I'm
you.
sick of like
Follow
your species like gross generalization of like everything. Like you just you take a word and then you lump a ton of shit into it.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I
You
mean?
just describe what you guys do with dolly. Dolly has like multiple meanings as well.
It
what
has
the fuck
two
is that?
meanings.
Oh, well, trolley has
a
like
dolly
one
is
for us.
dolly is more like a nickname that kids do. It's really just called a doll.
Yeah.
Ah,
Even then, they're in such separate worlds that there's no situation in which you would be saying dolly and referring to the other.
What if you're using a dolly to move a dolly?
You-
What about that?
Then
Huh?
in that situation, it still doesn't collide.
Then
because you don't
Well,
use
if
a
someone says,
dolly.
okay, if someone says bring the dolly over, which one do you bring? What if there's a dolly and a dolly?
Okay,
Huh?
well,
Huh?
if I'm moving in someone's house, I'm not going to bring them a tiny doll. If I'm taking care of children, I
What are you
might
gonna
bring
do
them
with
a tiny doll.
What if there's a kid moving in and he wants his doll brought in? What are you? That's just mean,
You
dude.
carry the doll, and then you move the stuff with the dolly.
All right.
You understand? What the fuck?
My favorite
I'm
part
sick
of
of you.
my favorite part is whenever he's like, "Oh, you call it that?" And then he's like, "We call it like that's so retarded." And then he calls it something so weird, like, "Oh, you call it a dolly? We call them biddly bops, mate."
Alright, let's not get into the whole fucking biscuit bread roll situation that we got into the other night, alright? Because no one wants that.
Yeah, you all get
Dude,
fucking
Rhino,
roasted
check
again.
group chat.
Yeah, do your own
I
research.
googled dolly.
And does it come up with a fucking doll?
No, fucking
Of course
idiot.
it does.
How the fuck is this a dolly? What the actual fuck?
So it's like, I just like what else is a trolley over in your country?
No,
Like,
okay.
tell me
So
the
you
other
would,
things.
you would call this like a hand trolley, and then you'd call a shopping cart just a regular trolley. So like
Regular
someone says,
trolley.
go get me a trolley, you go get them a fucking shopping cart.
Why
But,
is
you
the
know-
other
so
one
you
called
guys-
a
do
hand
you guys
trolley when
call
they're
it-
both used with your hands?
Yeah.
Well,
What if I was having someone go get me a trolley? What do I have? Go get me a trolley. What kind of
say,
trolley?
like, I gotta go get a shopping cart? Like, is that like a term of
Yeah,
expression?
it'd be like, hey, go get a shopping cart. Like, all right. Or
Yeah.
go get me a cart.
Yeah, go get a cart.
cart.
Yeah.
A cart. Yeah, okay. That's fucking weird to me.
Is cart like a word over there? You guys use
Yeah,
that?
for like go-kart. So you want to go go-karting. Go-karting.
No, they're spelled differently though.
We just call
Oh,
those
yours with a C?
goes.
Cart
Yeah.
with a C?
Shopping cart is
We-
spelled with a C.
I don't think we have cart with a C. We only have cart with a K.
What?
Yeah, because we have evolved. From
You're
you.
joking.
Dude, is this okay? You guys don't even use the metric system, and you're saying that you evolved. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just completely wrong, dude.
No, that is
Yeah,
exactly why we're
you spit-
evolved. We're the only ones who use the standard
We're
units.
past
Exactly.
the system.
That makes no sense.
We're onto our own system.
Makes
We've
no
evolved past it.
Mhm.
You know, that's devolving. You went fucking backwards. What the fuck?
You guys clearly spent way too long on the metric system and didn't pay any attention to your actual language.
Can
Bro,
we
I
get
didn't
back on
decide
topic,
this
for
shit,
Christ's
okay?
sake? What are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the Rhino's fault. He fucking
I was
derailed
just
the
wondering
whole
what a
thing.
fucking dolly is. I don't fucking know what that is. Come on, bro.
Round it up,
Cut me
round it
some
up,
slack.
you ding dang animals.
Yeah, filthy animals.
All right,
So,
continue on.
yeah,
Continue
Conor.
on, Aaron.
Connor, he is a guy, and he took he did some bad stuff.
That's a great explanation of what happened.
So he, yeah, in the video, he like throws he throws a barricade.
He tries to like throw a ton of shit.
Yeah, but
like
he
he only like
knocks stuff
successfully like
Throws
yeah,
the
he
doll.
pretty much
Yeah.
just tips stuff over,
Wait,
like in an angry little tantrum.
my favorite part is when he
Yeah.
tries to pick up those trash cans that weigh like 1,000 pounds, and he like hasn't realized that, so he like tries to pick it up, but it's way too heavy, so he just gives up and tips it over.
Yeah, he just sets it down. He's like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Then he
Can you
keeps
guys give
going.
me a kilogram measurement for 1,000 pounds, please? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure.
Well, there's 2.2
No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. It's all good.
What? So
Rhino, do you like? You're a UFC boy. Do you like
like
Conor McGregor?
500 kilos?
Yeah.
You do like Conor. You do like.
Yeah. No, I'm a big Conor fan. I actually like the thing with Conor is that, especially at first when he entered the UFC, like he talked a lot of shit,
Mhm.
obviously, and that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until he started backing it up that I actually really enjoyed him as a person, because for a lot of it, before, like especially in his first like 5 UFC fights, he didn't really fight anyone who was that big in the division. And then when he fought like Jose Aldo and he was talking like a whole bunch of smack to Aldo before their fight.
Yeah.
And then he knocked him out in like 10 seconds. And then since then I've been like, well, you know, if you can back it up, then you can talk as much shit as you want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's just an entertainer more than anything. He's not just a fighter. He entertains at the same time.
Yeah,
so
he
it's
plays
like,
the game.
Clearly shown by today.
You
like-
fool, mate.
I think he just had like a fucking Kylo Ren fit or something, and he
Yeah.
I don't know what.
He had a bit of a meltdown. Like he threw like a huge temper tantrum.
Yeah. I
I
wonder
don't know.
if
it's just-
I wonder if his agent like suggested that, like, hey, you should make like a big fuss to get in the limelight again, like get your name in the title, and then he took it too far.
I don't know, dude. Like, 'cause the thing is, he could retire off the money he made in the Mayweather fight. He made like
absolutely.
100 mil easy. And the thing is, with his
He
UFC,
could retire his whole staff with that amount of money.
yeah, literally. But like the thing is with UFC is nowhere near as big as like boxing is, and especially that was the biggest fight in boxing history, the Mayweather-McGregor fight. So
Yeah.
he made like 10 times, or I'd say even more, probably 20 times what he would normally make, even for a belt fight. He probably makes about 5 mil for a UFC belt fight. And then he made 100 mil in his first professional boxing fight. So it's like, to him, does he really want to go back to the UFC? I don't know if he cares enough about 5 mil to go back. But I think in his head, he wants his legacy to be, like, he wants to be known as one of the best. So maybe he will go back just to maintain that legacy.
Yeah.
Well, gonna be hard to do that when you're in prison.
So what is like the charges? Like, what type of like, will he be looking at jail time? I don't know how it works
Probably
in the
not.
US.
Like,
Yeah, I know he should, but
He
because
won't.
he's famous, he
He'll
probably
probably get a dope lawyer to find a loophole to get him out of it.
He'll have a hefty fine, which will be fucking pocket change.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing would be the UFC ramifications. Like, I'm sure Dana White, the UFC president, will fucking slap him with some. Because, like, when John Jones did this, like, he ran, like, he like got done for cocaine a few times, and then he ran over like a pregnant woman, and then like he was like a hit and run.
What the?
Jesus.
And after that happened, they stripped him of his belt. Like, he had the belt and he's undefeated, and they stripped him of his belt. So
I mean,
I'm
he
assuming
hurt-
something similar will happen in this situation, because this is probably worse than the
Yeah.
John Jones situation.
Well, he hurt like other fighters.
Yeah, who are
Yeah.
supposed to fight tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and they have to
Yeah,
cancel the
yeah.
fight. So yeah.
It's kind of crazy. Because
Yeah, I think he's gonna get charged with assault. Honestly, I think he
you
will.
kind of have to be, right?
Yeah, he won't
Like-
he won't see jail time, but I'm sure he'll be charged.
Yeah.
So wait, can you just get fined for assault? Can you?
I don't think you're supposed to, but
They could sue him for pain and suffering, which is just a monetary
Oh, okay.
pain. So
Yeah.
that's something they could do too.
he'll probably be like under house arrest or something.
Yeah. Dude, what if he got a restraining order against a fighter that he's supposed to fight?
Yeah.
The thing is, I think the fighters would like. I think Khabib wants to fight him. That's
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
I think like the background of this is basically, so Conor's been on hiatus. He hasn't fought in the UFC since I think, almost 2 years now.
Oh wow.
I'm
I
pretty
didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, I mean,
It's almost been. I'd have to look up the exact dates. Obviously, I'm not researched on this currently, but it's been about 2 years. And in that hiatus, like obviously other people are saying like, when's he going to vacate the belt? Because he had 2 belt divisions at this point. So I think he had like the 155 belt and the 145 belt, and so the people in those divisions are like, well, if he's not fighting, they have the belt. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And so a lot of talk about that. And then Khabib and Tony Ferguson were going to fight. This was like probably 6 or 7 months ago. And in the lead up, during Khabib's weight cut, when he was cutting weight, he got hospitalized because he had to cut too much weight and he almost like fucking died or something. So that fight got cancelled, right? And then it got rescheduled and it was meant to happen tomorrow. And then Ferguson got injured in his camp, so it got cancelled again,
Wow.
essentially. And then McGregor went out and tweeted something like, I need to get the actual tweet, but he said something like, "These guys pull out more often than I pull out of it, like a girl, like on the daily." Or
I
something.
saw that. I
What?
saw that.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he said something like that,
Oh.
referring to the fact that they keep pulling out of the fight. And then after Ferguson pulled out, Khabib went on like a few press things and was basically just calling out McGregor And supposedly he's like sponsored by Burger King now or something. So he was like roasting him at the same time, being like, "Where's the Burger King now? Why isn't the Burger King want to fight me?" And like talking all this smack about Conor.
Oh.
And so that is what like occurred today. Is essentially he was salty because Khabib was calling him the Burger King. So he went and fucked up his bus that he was sitting in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like how
so
fucking
funny.
it's so stupid, honestly. But it's funny.
So the bus was filled with UFC fighters.
Yeah, so they just had their weigh-ins, I think, was it? I'm pretty sure.
They should have just like gotten out and beat the shit out of them. Like,
Well, the thing is, they had like a mob, like, so supposedly, like, all the people who were around Conor were like a part of his crew, but there was like a mob of 30 of them that got access somehow through one of their press people that they work with, because only press were allowed in. And so they got access by their press crew, and they weren't meant to be there. And then like 30 of them basically stormed the fucking facility and then started attacking the
Wow.
bus. So
Damn.
That's freaking lit, bro.
But I don't get like if he's that salty about it, why doesn't he just fight him? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why
Yeah.
not just go and fucking fight the guy? So
They're probably
Oh,
like
yeah.
milking it for press.
yeah, probably. 'Cause, I mean,
Maybe.
how big is this going to be now?
Oh yeah.
Blow the fuck up. Absolutely.
You're freaking lit.
whatever.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
Whatever though, man.
Well, I was listening to Buddy 2988 earlier today, and he was streaming, but he was talking about like it's funny how we like our sports nowadays. We're almost breeding these athletes to be mean and violent in both the UFC. Like their whole job is to go out there and beat the crap out of someone,
Mhm.
and then when they flip out in today's society, everyone's like, oh, no way, no way, no way. But I mean, they're paid to do that. I mean, if you think
Yeah.
about it, the whole idea of UFC is the biggest, baddest, toughest person wins. It's the same with football. Like when a football player beats the crap out of someone at a bar, it's like, well, I mean, we as society do want them to be like that, and it's almost unrealistic for us to actually ask them to just turn that feeling off, I guess.
My favorite moment was in the NBA a few years ago with fucking Meta World Peace, like fucking elbowed James Harden, like right in the fucking face. Like the guy's name used to be Ron Artest, I believe was his
Mhm.
name, and he changed his name to Meta World Peace, and then like a month later,
Hit a guy.
he elbows this guy in the fucking face and like breaks his face. I was like, you're fucking kidding me? This guy's such a prick. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
fucking Laker, so of course he's gonna be an asshole. I'm sorry if you're a Laker fan. I pity you because your team is shit.
LeBron James.
That is.
I don't know anything about basketball.
That was pretty evident by what you said.
That was awesome.
LeBron James.
No, I mean, fuck. The Lakers had Kobe, but he's retired now, so they have nobody.
What
They have
about
nobody.
Lonzo
No
Ball,
legacy,
man?
no
What about-
fans.
What about Lonzo Ball, man? The greatest rookie of all time.
Longbow Stone. What's his name?
Longbows. What? Lonzo Ball. What the fuck?
Lonzo Ball.
You've heard of this guy, Aaron, surely. Come on.
I've actually never heard of him.
Yeah, I think
What?
I
Jesus.
recognize him from like a freaking D&D campaign or something.
Oh my god.
Long boy bowls.
Oh my god. You need to fucking Google this.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ. What the actual fuck?
What's his name?
Jesus Christ.
Lonzo Ball. B-A-L-L. Lonzo. L-O-N-Z-O.
Okay, relax. Just fucking relax.
Yeah, calm down, Aaron. What the fuck?
Dude, Rhino, you think you could dude, Aaron, chill the fuck out, okay? Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ.
That's exactly what I thought he was gonna look like. Fucking paintbrush.
It's fucking...
my god. Well, Rhino, you think you could this is your chance to come to America. You can ring up your cousin Aldridge
Oh,
and
fuck
get
yeah,
us
get us
get us the game. We can go to LA for like
Hell yeah.
when LA plays the Spurs.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm fucking down, dude.
Yeah,
Not
you
even
need it.
joking.
Need to get LaMarcus on the phone real quick.
Cousin
okay?
LaMarcus will hook us up. Guaranteed, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, he knows.
He's a nice guy. He seems like
Yeah.
such a nice guy.
I mean,
Nice
if he's
guy,
your cousin,
Marcus.
why aren't you already riding his gravy train? Bro?
Yeah, why are you over here, man?
Well, look, to be honest, like, I gotta give LaMarcus his time in the limelight, because growing up, he was in my shadow. Well,
Oh.
I kind of gotta
Good
give it
guy,
to him
Rhino.
for a little bit. You know,
I'm
I don't want to
guessing-
overshadow him again.
I'm guessing figuratively, not literally. He was,
Oh, and, yeah, he's
your
actually a lot
shadow.
taller than I am. Yeah, he's way taller than me, but I mean, in terms of accomplishments,
Mhm.
I came over here to escape from you, like a refugee would from like a war
Yeah,
thing.
Oh man, I gotta get out.
Maybe I
I gotta
should-
get out
maybe I
of the
should
limelight
talk
with
to
my
him
friend
about that.
Rhino, man.
Oh,
Gotta
shit.
get out of here, man. My cousin, man.
he's my cousin. What do you mean, my friend? What
It's
the
just
fuck
too,
is
man.
this?
It's just too much, man. I can't get out of the limelight, man. Tell you what, man.
I'm not gonna say it, but you're treading on some ice there. You're treading on some ice, Aaron.
Wet ice.
We don't want another Kyle situation, do we? Another bean burrito.
That's what
it.
every basketball player sounds like, white or black.
Oh,
Whoa,
okay.
Stereotypes. I think you're generalizing a bit there, bro. I don't know about that.
It has nothing to do with race.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
I don't even know if whoever you're talking about is even black. Lorenzo Aldrich?
Oh.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Yes, I'm not.
Oh,
We'll let it pass, Aaron. You didn't do
Yeah.
it on purpose. It's okay.
yeah.
We
Next
acknowledge your
time-
mistake and we move on.
Oh, his
Next
first
time
name's
we'll roast
Lamarcus.
you,
Never
though.
mind.
Yeah, isn't it?
Idiot.
It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Look, I don't know basketball. I never pretended to. Okay.
That's good. At least you're not like a
Fakey.
Dubs bandwagoner. You're not.
Who's the most aggressive cricket player right now?
Oh, it's probably David Warner. He's from Australia. Actually, he just got banned for a fucking year for cheating. Literally.
David
What did he do?
Warner?
Yeah, David Warner. Warner, like Warner
Warner.
Bros. His last name's Warner, like Warner Bros.
Warner.
Are they called cricketers? Cricketers?
Cricketers.
Cricketer?
Cricketers. What the fuck is that?
I kind of wish it was that. I like that better. Cricketeer.
That's a
Dude,
good one.
Three people from our national team got banned for 9 months to a year for fucking cheating in an international match against South Africa. It's fucking hilarious, dude.
Wow.
You guys don't even know what I'm saying, do you? Like, what?
No, I don't know.
What is South Africa? Is that another country? I don't know.
What do you call the bat? Like a paddle
A
or
bat.
what?
You just said it.
Oh, you
It's
just
a
call it a
fucking
bat?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a cricket bat.
It's a
What
cricket
the
bat. It looks like that thing that like fraternities use to like hit
Oh, like a
people.
paddle?
It
Like,
is.
oh,
Yeah.
I think it is,
Yeah.
dude.
I think it doubles as one of those.
Probably.
It's multi-purpose, that's for sure.
Mhm.
This seems like a sport that was just created by like a
frat
bunch of
people?
like
Yeah,
you're like a
absolutely.
bunch of frat boys, yeah.
That
It's
doesn't
like-
make sense. Frat boys don't exist outside of the US, and the US doesn't play cricket. What the fuck do you mean?
It's on that level of retarded.
Whoa!
Fucking wow, dude. I love how the R-bomb can just get dropped like casually now and it doesn't fucking matter. Whereas when I said it like a few episodes ago, you're like, what? I can't believe you guys say that. Why you say that?
That's because I'm woke, Rhino.
Oh, I forget.
He's a hipster.
And you're a
I forget.
hater.
You're right. Lit dab woke.
Yeah.
Lit dab.
I'm just a bad
What
person.
right now. But
Okay.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Okay.
So on
Yeah,
to
let's-
other
let-
news.
Yeah, let's change this before we end up actually talking about cricket, because
Yeah.
then
I
I
noticed
really want
that
to shoot
I
myself.
mentioned that 3 of our players, man, no one fucking bats an eyelid. Like, no one
Wait.
even fucking cares about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
so-
that's like every day. Okay,
What
somebody's
do you mean?
somebody's
What?
Yeah,
cheating somewhere.
everybody knows this, right?
So, Rhino,
Oh,
in
okay,
all
it's common
honesty,
knowledge.
when's cricket season?
Summer. So it's our summer.
Oh, that sounds fucking awful.
It's a summer
So-
sport.
But like, what months is it? Like,
Oh, so
Do you have the same months as us?
yes, they have the same
Well,
months.
different
but-
seasons. So it's like your winter.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
I know.
yeah,
They
I know
don't.
how
They
it
don't
works.
have.
I know
They
how
don't
it
have
works.
months. They just have seasons because they generalize everything. there.
So is it like October to like March?
yeah. Well, it's like November, December, January. They're like the biggest cricket months for us.
Okay, because maybe this year I'll watch cricket and then we can have cricket talk.
That's-
Oh hell yeah, dude! What's the Big Bash? The Australian Big Bash. You'll fucking love it.
Keep me up
The
to
Big
date.
Bash,
Like,
of course,
what
Big
what
Bash.
happens and I'll watch it.
I just realized how like weird that fucking sounds to someone who doesn't know what that is.
I'll tell you what sounds weird, man. Like people in Australia, you got to be like, oh man, I can't wait till it's December. Then I can just go out and enjoy the sun.
That is kind of weird.
That's so foreign to us because it's just backwards, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, Rhino, honest question.
Mm.
So when you have I'm in a cartography class right now where we're
Oh,
learning
hell
about
yeah.
maps.
I fucking
and-
love cartography.
Oh, hell yeah.
Australia's in the southern hemisphere. So are your maps still drawn relative to north or are they drawn relative to south?
No, we still draw relative to north.
Okay.
Otherwise,
yeah.
it'd be upside down. Yeah, no. So everything's like north situated, like in terms
Okay.
of map.
That's what I thought, but my professor showed us a couple like maps that were south oriented and I'm like,
What the fuck?
yeah, no, I was like, that's weird, but then I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't not make sense if they focused towards south,
But
but
then, like, it's in that situation, like, Australia would be upside down, so and that would be weird. Like, that would look so fucking weird because, like, I always picture Australia like north orientated, so
Yeah.
it has like a
Yeah.
shape in my head, like
yeah,
how it looks.
no, and that's the thing. Like, there's like actually, if you think about it, there's no right or wrong. We're just taught to think that north is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true.
And so I didn't know if like you guys were just
Nah.
taught something
Can
different.
you imagine if we like looked at everything upside down? That'd be weird, dude.
Well, you're already walking upside down and everything.
Arr!
Wait, your toilet flushes the opposite way, doesn't it?
See, I don't get this. Do you guys toilets actually like fucking like spin? Like, does it spin in a fucking circle? Because mine just like
Yeah.
overlaps.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fucking wave. Like it
Well-
like kind of
Well,
comes.
yes, but it's still a circular motion.
Yeah, like spirals down.
Yeah.
Does it?
But
Oh,
very,
mine
very,
doesn't.
very lightly. I mean, I like. I want to say like every other toilet does like a hard spiral. But like I feel like like I know what he's talking about. Like my parents' toilet is just kind of like a wave dropper.
Yeah, it kind of just like it flushes over the top and then it
Yeah,
goes down.
and then it goes
like-
down.
Yeah, I have seen
Yes.
that. The spiral is a bit more common though.
Yeah.
I don't think we have. I've never used a spiral toilet. my
Well, it's
entire
not like a.
life.
So like, what it is if you fill up a sink and then you pull the plug, you're gonna see a natural funnel form.
It's
A spiral.
centrifugal force.
Right. See, when I pull out the plug, it just goes down. It doesn't spiral.
Okay, it spirals.
Okay,
It does. It spirals.
Then the laws of physics
No.
in Australia
No.
are actually fucked.
So, I mean, when I have a bath, I guess, no, it does spiral a bit, but it's like
You
not a
take
big enough
baths?
spiral to like for me to say, yeah, sometimes, not very often, like once every 2 years.
When was the last time you took a bath, Rhino?
Like over a year ago, I'd say probably. Wait, what? Do you guys not bath? Or you guys bath a
I
lot?
haven't taken a bath in like 20 years.
Oh shit! Okay.
Kyle, when was the last time you took a bath?
Probably 3 or 4 years ago.
I
was
would
after a long
I'd
day
probably
of
say
work.
the same.
Yeah, no, like it was a long day of work. My parents have a jacuzzi,
I-
so
Oh,
Yeah, see,
hell
I will say if I had like a nice bath at my house, I'd probably bath.
yeah, 100%.
That's-
It's a waste
Baths are
of
fine.
water.
It is a bit. Well, it depends on how long you
Yeah,
shower.
but I
for,
don't
actually.
give a
If you
shit.
fucking shower for like 15 minutes, that's probably the more than what a bath would be. To
Maybe.
be
Oh
honest.
That's a good
gosh,
point.
no. No, my shower's 5 minutes tops.
Oh, see, water conservationist. I love
Natural
it.
Australian there.
Love it. Love it.
Oh my god. Hey, so like 10 minutes ago we were talking about moving on. Let's fucking do that. So in a bit of darker news, this last week there was a bit of a tragedy hitting a little close to home. There was a shooting at the YouTube headquarters, which is
Nope.
tragic. It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Nobody died though, correct? Except the shooter.
At this moment, yeah, one person's in critical condition, but the others
Yeah.
are stable. But yeah, the shooter, who has been confirmed to be a YouTube artist, was upset with like how the monetization system changed.
Yeah.
I'm glad she killed herself, pussy ass bitch. Have fun in hell.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, why? Who cares? Okay,
No,
she's a fucking monster.
well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
What?
I don't even know.
Look,
I think
feel
the whole
bad.
thing's
I
bad.
feel sorry for her family and like her friends that this is affected, but I am in no way upset that she is no longer on this earth.
I mean, I don't feel sorry for her, that's for certain. I mean, to an extent, like, I wish it could be different, but
Oh, absolutely.
she did.
But
She chose what she chose.
made her choices, which makes her a shit human being. And now the world is rid of her. Sorry. Guys, say something.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So I heard she was like interviewed like a few hours before she like committed the shooting by police. Is that true? Like I haven't
So
read
the
fully into
story
this.
that I heard and it depends state to state, but in some states you're not allowed to sleep in your car, like on the side of the road or in parking lots.
Mm,
And so she was sleeping in a parking lot, and an officer came up and talked to her and like
Oh.
asked like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm just taking a nap or something." And that was like I don't know the exact timeline, but that was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Then she woke up, drove over to the headquarters, and then did the deed, I guess. And so,
Damn.
like, I don't know. The sad thing is, and this is a story that I've heard. Again, it's kind of a failure of the police force, in that her dad called the night that she left, and he's like, "I think my daughter's going to the YouTube headquarters," and no one acted on it.
mm.
So,
What do you know? Yet another shooting been completely prevented by a whole lot of reasons,
Well, I mean, like,
by a whole lot of ways.
yeah. I mean, hindsight's 2020. Like, we don't know
I
exactly
know.
how it went down, but yeah, I kind of agree with that.
It seems like it kind of sucks when you just kind of hear about that sort of thing, because it almost comes down to failure in the system. Like, there's other factors, of course,
Mhm.
yeah.
like whole gun control, but I mean, it just sucks. It just fucking
Even the
sucks.
gun control that they're proposing now wouldn't have stopped it because she was using handguns.
Yeah.
Like
Baby
this
steps.
shooting was a failure of the system, in my opinion, at least.
I'm just glad, like, don't get me wrong, it was terrible, but it is not nearly as bad as it could have been. Like,
Yeah, if she had an assault weapon.
yeah, no kidding.
For sure.
Like there's this non-argument that goes around about that. Like, oh, like you say that like banning assault weapons would stop shootings. Well, like this person did it with a handgun, that person did it with a handgun. It's like, well, the idea isn't that it would stop it. The idea is that it drastically minimizes their
I mean, how many
effectiveness.
fatalities were there? Like only one, right?
And it was her.
And it was her,
It
so
was
there you go.
self-inflicted. Yeah.
Yeah,
If she was
she
using
killed herself.
an automatic weapon, you'd know that at least 10 people would have died. Like surely.
Yeah, if you actually like shot a pistol before, they are not easy to aim.
No,
They're
they're
hard.
really not.
They're really hard.
Possible.
It's difficult. Yeah. I mean, like
So-
you see in movies where like someone's like holding someone's hostage, and then the police like the detective like aims really hard and like shoots just the guy. If you've ever shot in a handgun, there's no surprise why they don't do that in real life. Like that is like your trigger finger being like a millimeter left from doming a civilian. Like it's like they call it like yawning, if I remember correctly. But it's like if you pull and you like pull a little bit too left, the whole gun tips that way, and it like the same way with like right. So like to make a shot like that, like you have to pull back like so perfectly. It's not impossible, and like there's people that are definitely that good, but it's like I would never fucking try that. Like oh my god.
Like John
For
Wick.
sure.
Yeah, like John.
I was just gonna say that, John Wick.
Hell yeah.
John Wick, guys. John Wick.
Good movie. But yeah, it's so fucked. Like
What were her motives? Did she have a motive for doing
yeah.
it, or-
Oh yeah. It was.
She was like angry at YouTube, correct?
yeah the
Yeah.
So she, with the changes in monetization, she dipped into non-monetization. So she was like no longer monetized, and so like
Shit.
it was like she wasn't like seeing the numbers she wanted to.
Yeah.
That's just what I've.
That kind of sucks.
Also, what I heard was she was a huge like vegan, like almost a hippie-ish, like protect the animals, and so she had posted a couple videos of like animal violence that broke the bylaws of YouTube,
Yeah.
and so she felt like YouTube was like
Silencing her.
yes, and
Oh,
so
okay.
she felt between the combination of YouTube trying to hide her message and then not paying her for content, I think she called YouTube. She's like, YouTube's just having us creators be their sex slaves. We have to do whatever they want or something. And
Jesus
so-
Christ.
Like, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting to me. Like, it's not that I guess I see her motive, but I think a shooting is
It's not the answer.
Yes.
It's not the answer.
Like that is
Yeah.
extremely drastic. I mean, I think she could have gone the legal route and actually gotten more accomplished than
Well-
taking it into her own hands.
Well, it
Well,
wouldn't.
that's
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
That's-
Well, the problem is, like, I feel like, I don't know, for the most part, whenever somebody's, like, doing a school shooting, obviously I don't have any idea how these people think, because they're, like, just fucking crazy.
Mhm.
But, like, I feel like most of them feel like they're, like, justified in what they're doing. Like, some of them think that they're actually doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's confirmation
know.
bias.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, she might have seen herself as like, she might have like seen YouTube as like starting to see it as like this evil company is like silencing like her freedom of speech or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm gonna be a hero and put these people to rest.
So she liberates them.
Yeah, something like that. I feel like they have their own like self-justification for
Yeah,
whenever they do these things.
and
I
they,
have to.
it's that like.
No, they don't have to. I'm
confirmation
sure some of them don't, but
No, I feel like if you're doing something that like drastic and that desperate, like you'd have to like in your own head you'd have to be okay with it, right? Or maybe some people are just that messed up that they don't even think about it; they just do it. I don't know.
Well, I think it's like the means justify the like. I mean, the cause justifies.
And-
Yeah, ends justify the means. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, they just get an idea in their head, and then all they do is like they just stack evidence for their own
Yeah.
like
For sure.
ideals. They don't weigh any of the counter evidence. They just say like you
Yeah, so you
decide
can
something. Yeah.
you can manipulate your own mind to really feed any sort of view.
Oh, absolutely.
you
Yeah.
want.
Crazy.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's really crazy.
And then pretty soon, the idea of shooting YouTube makes fucking sense.
God.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I'm just glad that it
Died.
wasn't. Yeah, or that it wasn't like as bad as previous ones. Still terrible, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that it wasn't like a massacre.
Yeah.
Ugh.
For real.
All right, Rhino. You haven't been here for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
You said you got a topic.
lighten the mood right now.
Lighten
Yeah.
this up.
This isn't going to lighten the mood at all. And if anything, this is going to be like the low point of the entire podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh wow! You guys serious? You doubting me?
Yes.
Never.
Yes, I am.
Literally
Being
always.
honest.
That's
So, love is dead. Love is actually dead. Love doesn't exist. It's just fake. It's not real.
What's
It's
your girlfriend think about that?
Oh, I say it to her all the time. You know, I said it to her when I found out that
Yeah,
Logic and his wife split up. And
Yeah, she comes in just like, how's your day, baby? I love. Fuck your love. It ain't real, bitch.
Our relationship is just a construct.
No, it's so fucking like it just. I don't know. Like you always like you see celebrity couples and you think like, oh, you know, that's so nice that they're still together. And then there's so many examples recently, like especially in like the last 2 years of celebrity couples just splitting it. Who
You know,
think
like Chris Pratt and Anna Faris?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
split
okay,
not
so let's
long
go
ago?
through a list. Yeah, Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. So Logic and Jess Andrea, his wife. And then we just had Channing Tatum and his wife, Jenna. Was it Jenna? I think her name's Jenna.
Yeah.
And then you've got like Gwyneth Paltrow and fucking Chris Martin. They split up. Brad and Angelina, they split up.
Well, to be honest, like Chris Martin can do better. I freaking hate Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, what are you, dude? He was the reacher in that relationship. Gwyneth is banging. Chris Martin's a
Oh,
fucking.
no.
He looks like a
easier
stud,
on
dude.
dropping that word, please. Like, chillax.
Which word?
Did you say retard?
No.
Oh my
Oh,
god, you
good.
said
Good.
retard?
Wow.
Oh, that's not
No, I said he's.
acceptable.
I said
Oh.
I said he's the reacher. You know how like
Oh,
every relationship
okay.
Yeah, I
has
thought
a
you
reacher and a
said, I
settler.
thought you said retard.
Yeah,
It's like
Okay,
we don't
Gotcha.
No,
we don't
be
subscribe
careful.
to that.
Be
We don't
fucking
subscribe to
careful.
that.
Oh, you guys are fucking.
You didn't
talking
watch
like
your fucking
3
mouth.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
What
keep
the
going.
fuck?
Keep going on your
Oh,
story,
keep
but
going.
just keep in mind. Just keep
Yeah.
in mind that
Shut the
children-
fuck up, okay? Jesus Christ. No. Gwyneth was the fucking settler in that relationship. I'm glad she got out of it. It was fucking toxic anyway. And then you've got like Guy Ritchie and Madonna. They fucking broke up as well. This is like a long time ago now, though.
Yeah.
But like the list just goes on and on and on. You always have these couples. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. Like I thought they were gonna last forever. I thought they were like the cutest fucking couple. You know, they have a son together. All this shit, and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we've decided that it'll be better for us if we
we're
break
gonna
up from each
break
other
up.
and we split up. And there's always like this whole bullshit about it like being amicable between the couples. Like Channing
know.
and his wife had the same statement that came out and like being like, it's so amicable. We love each other. We still have a lovely family and all this shit. And I'm like, that's absolute horse shit. Like, come on.
I know. I hate when like couples just like, yeah, it was like a mutual breakup. Just like, oh yeah, where you just like start having a conversation and just like 1, 2, 3, you both say the same thing at the same time. Just like, yeah, let's break up. We should break up. I was gonna say that.
Right?
Oh my
Bullshit.
God.
It's
That
such a
doesn't
fucking
fucking happen.
joke, dude.
That doesn't
It would
fucking
never happen. Like, and what was the way that like Gwyneth and Chris Martin described it? It was like a mutual. No, it was like a beneficial, unseparate. It was like the way they fucking worded it, and it was like
corporate almost.
it was like it was a business deal. It
Yeah.
was like,
Written up by lawyers or something.
it was like a mutual disengagement is what they referred to it as, or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, are these real
Yeah.
people talking right now? Like, what the
Yeah.
actual? So, I mean, I don't know. It's so hard to believe in fucking love when shit like this happens every couple of weeks. Honestly.
Well, I think just celebrities are normally fake as fuck.
I think it's a
I
lot
think-
harder if you're a
Well, I think, like, I'm not necessarily even saying that to diss them. I feel like you kind of have to be. You know, you have to go out in public. You have to put a smile on when you're with
Yeah.
like your significant other. You know, people fake being happy. I mean, it happens everywhere. Like, I mean, it happens in Hollywood. It happens on YouTube, Twitch, everywhere. People fake their emotions. You know,
Yeah.
and I think people don't really realize what could actually be going on in their personal life. I just don't think that they really let it show very much.
No, for sure. Like, they make public appearances to, like, you know,
Yeah.
please the press and please the public, you know, and
Mhm.
but behind closed doors, it's probably fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I feel like if I was like famous actor, like your dating pool really is pretty fucking small. Is it
You
like?
reckon?
I
Is
think
it?
I think
I
it'd be
think it's
incredibly. I think it'd be
huge.
incredibly difficult to like be with someone who isn't on the same level as you and like truly know it's real. You know what I mean? Like if you're Chris Pratt and you're just at some bar and
Yeah,
like
you
you're
go on a
hitting it,
Tinder date, just like
Yeah.
did they just matched me because I'm Chris Pratt,
yeah, because I'm Chris
not
freaking
because
Pratt.
like
Yeah.
they're just, you know.
That's
But like,
true.
oh, if
yeah.
I'm dating a celebrity, like they gain nothing from dating me, like it relatively. you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
guess
prenups
no,
are.
that
That's what
doesn't make
prenups are for.
We want prenups. We want prenups.
Yeah, I guess that's why like people in that specific industry seem to date each other, or like other people who like Miranda Kerr was like a model and she was dating Orlando Bloom, and they split up too, and they have a fucking child together. But then she moved on to like the CEO of Snapchat, so it's like you can tell that the way that they go about it is that they have to have someone who's like on greater. It's so weird, though. I don't understand why.
I get it. I mean, like I would too. Like it goes like I was just saying, you know, like I'd be afraid that it's disingenuous, you know. Also with
Yeah, I
actors,
guess.
like you spend like 12 hours a day together every day for like half a year. You know, it makes sense that like you see actors like falling in love with each other, like
Yeah.
Especially like if they're put into like
romantic roles.
roles with each other. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard. But whatever. I'm not
But
an
love
actor.
is dead. But love is dead.
But
Love is
dead.
fucking
Love is
dead, dude.
Uh-huh.
Fucking dead. Jesus
Wait.
Christ.
So you guys actually keep up on? I didn't even know that those people were together until you
I
said
only-
they broke up.
If
Yeah, I
care
heard about
them-
Chris Pratt and Anna Faris, but I didn't hear about Logic.
Yeah, I mean the only reason
I-
I heard about Logic is because I like Logic, so I like follow him on Twitter and stuff. Like
Yeah.
just
yeah.
the
I follow
general
on
gossip
Instagram,
I don't
so-
follow, but like yeah, if
No.
If
No,
I
but like when they come out with like actual, like it's not gossip because they've
Yeah.
come out and fucking said it themselves. Do you know what I mean? And it was the same with the Channing one. Like that was just all over the news. Like I just go on like fucking Snapchat and it's like,
Channing Tatum and wife split up.
I feel,
Oh, no.
I feel like
that's
Channing
fair.
Tatum is a shitty person.
oh, what do you mean?
You know what I mean?
Whoa, whoa.
No, I don't. What's
I-
wrong with Channing
Just look at
Tatum?
his fucking face. Like I feel like he's like a shitty dude. Like you see some actors, and you're like, oh, that person probably seems genuine, but like just
Yeah.
just look at him, man. He looks like has like a 12-year-long coffee order and fucking.
I feel like you didn't actually hear that he was a shitty person. You just like
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm projecting. I think he's a shitty person.
I think you're like a little bit.
I hear
jealous
he's
of
a
his
shitty person.
masturbation.
Let me
Yeah.
tell you why.
No, I never
Look
said
at
no,
his
no, no,
fucking face.
no. I never. I didn't say I heard. I said I think.
Ah.
Yeah. He said he
okay,
assumes
covers-
he's a but
Yeah.
I feel like when you say that about someone, it's because like you're a bit jelly. Like normally I say someone's a bad person because I'm a little bit jelly of them. That's the truth.
I knew it. I knew all along
Oh,
you were
hey.
jealous.
Oh,
I knew
shut
it.
the fuck
I
up!
knew it.
You don't fucking count as a person.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm projecting a little bit. I'm sure I'm projecting a little bit.
I think Channing would be a nice guy.
That would make
reckon
sense
he'd be-
why Aaron hates The Rock so much because
Yeah, exactly right. It makes
No,
sense.
that has
And-
nothing
and
to
it-
do with that. I
And that's
can't
why both
stand
of you
The
hate fucking Kevin Hart because he's
Oh,
funnier than
no.
both of you.
See, the
Oh.
thing
It's
is,
hard to be a shit.
The connection.
I say I hate Channing Tatum because of his stupid fucking face, but I have a laundry list of why The Rock sucks ass and why Kevin Hart's a freaking doogie.
Oh man.
Well,
Poor Rock.
what are
man.
they?
He just wants to be universally loved, which he is, by except for two people. Oh no, one person.
I like
sorry,
The
Two
Rock.
likes The Rock. Yeah, I think.
I like The Rock.
Okay,
I think he's
I actually wanted to
overrated.
ask you guys that. A couple weeks ago when I was on Twitter, I saw. Did you guys hear anything about Rock controversy?
The what?
No.
What happened?
So
No.
there's this like person who just made this huge fuss about how it's so unfair that The Rock is able to play the same in every movie that he is. I mean, he's always this big, buff, kind of like
Piece of shit.
comedic relief. Like he plays the same role in every single movie.
He's like
and-
Keanu. He's just the same person. Except,
Yeah.
except then Keanu makes John Wick and shows you that he's
Oh, what do you? Yeah,
he's
but
a
you
good
can
actor.
like. there's so many actors that
So
are like they
many.
play the same role.
No.
Kevin Hart.
No,
See,
No, there are, but her point was there's no female equivalents to The Rock.
Mm. Oh, I
Can you guys think of any? Because I mean, I kind of
Michelle
Same
Rodriguez,
tier.
dude. Michelle Rodriguez plays
Yeah,
the same fucking
dude,
character and
seriously.
everything.
Yeah, but the thing, I think the comparison is, but like, look at her payroll. Rock is the #1 most paid freaking actor last year, whenever. You know, he
True.
plays the same part and he's making the most money. Whereas, like,
yeah.
I can think of several women who play the same part every time, but their paycheck is nowhere near the same.
Yeah, but we're acting like these actresses don't get paid a fuck ton as it
Yeah.
is. Like, their paycheck's still pretty
Rhino.
damn big.
Rhino, do not make light of gender discrimination, okay?
Oh, God.
Please.
I
This
think
is
there's
this is
some
the
reality.
gigantic issue in our
Yeah.
right. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this.
I mean, I think there's some reality to it, but
No, there is. Obviously, there is a reality to it. And you've even got it like in regular jobs, not just like the fucking acting
Yeah.
industry, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like The Rock is popular for a reason. Do you know, like he's worked his ass off his entire life. Like if you think about it, this guy's
Who
been
did
going.
you say said this, Kyle? By the way,
Let me. Pod.
was it another
I don't
actress?
know.
Right?
No, it was some
Grace
Twitter.
Spellman.
Yeah, Grace Spellman. She's an author for some. I don't remember it.
Who gives a shit what she says?
No, I remember
Let
when
me
like
see.
J-Law came out and said the same thing a couple of years ago about the pay gap between actors and actresses, and everyone
Yeah.
kind of sat and was like, well, like some people were like, well, J-Law, you get paid fuck ton as it is, so why are you fucking complaining? And then the other side of the coin is like it's like 1/5 of what an actor of her standing would make. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's legitimacy to it for certain.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I mean,
this one's a little bit far fetched, but
I feel like we're coming into an
There
age
is
now
different,
where that's gonna disappear though, very very quickly
Oh,
in terms of
absolutely.
opportunity, in terms of pay, and
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I mean, it already seems to be getting better.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Now, if we just get directors to stop touching people, that'd be even better.
Yeah, yeah. We have replaced the problem with something completely different.
It's so fucked. Fucking Harvey butthole.
Do you guys realize how like terrible of a person Quentin Tarantino is?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
He's
He
bad.
made a mistake. You guys need to
Wait,
calm down on the
Wait,
fucking
whoa!
hate.
What happened?
Are you guys talking about like the car crash with?
Multiple things.
What?
There's like
Yeah.
he's like defended like stat rape before also,
Mhm.
and like
Okay, he was defending Roman Polanski. Essentially, he wasn't defending stat
What?
rape. He basically said that the girl who Polanski banged wanted it. That's all he said. It was half jokingly. Like, I know it's not a good thing to say, but he was being interviewed, and like it's not like he was like, I defend pedophiles, I defend stat rape. You know, he wasn't saying that. He was just saying
I
Polanski-
don't think he's like an evil person, but I think he's a piece of shit. I mean, come on.
You can tell he's a bit self-obsessed. I don't know. He definitely thinks highly of him.
I respect him as an artist. He makes fantastic movies. But
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
great.
he's a shit lord.
Wow.
Like
You are
there,
horrible.
there becomes a he's not Clint Eastwood bad, so I still like will
What does that
respect
mean?
his. Clint Eastwood is. Do some research on Clint Eastwood. That guy's gone off the rocker.
Well,
boy.
he's got like
Really?
fucking 9 kids, doesn't he? Like with
Yeah.
4 wives or something like that. I'm pretty
Okay.
fucking sure.
So you're talking about like you're talking about like recent Clint
Yeah. Oh
Eastwood.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Like
I'm fine with that.
he spoke at like the RNC and stuff. Like.
Oh yeah, I watched that live.
Ooh,
I saw that live.
ooh,
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What did he say?
Well, he
Uh,
talked to a chair, an empty chair.
yeah.
Oh,
What?
no. Is he losing his mind?
Maybe.
Probably.
He still makes
Oh, no.
he still makes movies and stuff though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just directed him.
He just did the one with Chris Hemsworth in it, didn't he? I think.
I know he just had a
Hacksaw?
recent
Did he
one.
do Hacksaw?
I think
No, that was
Hacksaw.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, that's right. Another crazy person.
No, dude.
Oh,
Yeah, talk about
Gibson.
fucking
Devin
crazy,
Paris.
crazy
Jesus.
weirdo.
That's what he did.
We can all agree Mel Gibson is fucked, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's beyond
I mean-
redemption.
He's the guy who goes around at Hollywood parties, telling oven jokes to Jews. Like, what the actual fuck?
Have you guys seen South Park's version of
No,
Mel
I need
Gibson?
to though.
Oh, have you
That'd be
not?
fucking
That's so
hilarious,
good.
yeah.
It is top tier. It is like top 3 like South Park impersonations.
Yeah, I
probably.
definitely agree with that.
Really?
It
It's
is
so
so good right now. You guys have
I need to fucking watch it now.
The worst part, the reason it's so good is there's like too much of a truth behind it.
yeah, like you can actually like see Mel Gibson like being this way.
Yeah, they didn't have to exaggerate him all that much.
No.
It's
so
literally
messed
just
up.
him personified. No, I think the one fucked up thing that Tarantino did was when he made Uma Thurman drive in like a car that was basically like he didn't know it was gonna crash, but like the risk assessment for it was like
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
high. Like the
it's
the
fine.
risk assessment would have been and he literally he was really forceful in making her shoot
Yeah.
that scene. I think it was the first Kill Bill, or maybe it was the second Kill Bill. And it literally veered off the fucking. I don't know if you guys have seen the video.
I've seen the
Thurman-
video.
She uploaded it to her Instagram because she finally got the footage for it. Like this is almost 20 years after, or 15 years after it happened,
Wow.
and it looks fucked. Like she just veers off the road and goes straight into a fucking tree, dude. And like the whiplash that she would have got would have been fucking horrendous.
Oh, my
And that was all his fault. And I think like that you can call him an asshole about. But I think the problem is with directors in particular is that they have so much like creative control over what they're trying to achieve. And you can tell Quentin's the type of dude who is like, it's his way or the highway. Like, this is how I want it to be.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm
he wanted her to
I'm
shoot that
paying
fucking.
you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I cast you, I'm paying you, you're doing this scene. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think when you're on a power trip like that, when you're trying to create art like he does, it can lead to fucked up situations like that.
Freaking
But I think that's
Kubrick
like
and
that's like
everything.
one bad thing. I think everyone's jumping on like the fucking witch hunt train against like male people in power, especially in
Yeah.
Hollywood, and trying to find
Oh,
anything
God,
bad that
I
they've ever fucking
know.
said, and then like like hanging them out to dry. Like, and it's too much, man. Like he's a good guy. He's done a few in his life, just like everybody else has.
Mhm.
There's no reason to fucking like boycott him as a human being because of that. You know?
So going off when you were talking about that lady that he had crash into the tree, I remember on PKA they were talking about Quentin Tarantino, and you guys ever see Inglourious Bastard?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Great. Fucking amazing.
Diane Kruger, I believe, is the actress.
Yeah. The
But
bombshell.
You're talking about like the strangle scene?
yeah, did you guys know that that's him doing that?
Yeah, because
He
I think he's
insisted,
quoted
like,
as saying that he would do it right and no one else would do it
Yes.
right.
yeah. No, he pretty much told her like, "I am going to choke you." Until
Yeah, because he would do it properly so that she
Yes.
would act correctly. Yeah,
Like-
essentially.
Oh man, I
Did
mean,
he like spit on people too?
yeah. Like I don't know. That's
There's
just,
a lot of cases of directors being like, "Get out of my way! I need to like, you're not
This
doing
needs
what
to
I
be
want."
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like
No,
I was
no, that-
saying, like
That's
it's like
fair.
artistic
Fucking-
license, you know, like he wants it to be how he wants it. So I
Yes.
feel like you have a bit of artistic license there on what you can do. And like she was getting choked anyway. Like it's part of the fucking movie. It's not like he choked her out in real life. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of like, it just goes. It's just like feeding. Like, oh, he's done this bad thing. Well, here's another thing.
Yeah.
That, like,
Yeah,
if you
that
look at
everyone
it,
finds something else.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you look at it from a negative light, then it comes off really bad.
You can normally find like if you really try to like you can pick a person, just a random person, be like, I want to find some like shitty things that this guy has done
Mhm.
in his life. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go do it. And you could for pretty much
Yeah.
everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
I
That's
killed
exactly.
a dog.
What?
I didn't do that.
It's on tape now.
Have you guys seen Atlanta? Have you seen Atlanta? The show?
No.
No, what's
So-
it
I've
about?
heard it's really good.
It's so
Is
good.
Jason Momoa is in that, right?
No,
Fucking
no,
Khal
no,
Drogo?
no, no.
Donald
What the
Glover's
fuck?
in it.
No, it's
Isn't he?
Donald
He's in-
Glover. No, he's not in.
Oh.
He's not in. At least not in the first season. But like, there's this one character, and he goes to a gun range, and he brings his own targets.
Yeah.
And he like, yeah, I want to shoot this handgun. I'm thinking about buying it and I want to test it out first. So like these other guys, he's walking through like the firing range, and these like other dudes that are just like just your like stereotypical gun guy, white people. One of them shooting like a target that like it's like literally like a Mexican guy like holding like some white woman hostage, like just all these terrible targets. Yeah, these terrible targets these people are shooting.
Man.
And he hangs up his target, it sends it out, and it's a dog. The target is a dog with like points assigned to parts, and he's like bam 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 bam, like shooting this dog. And the people come up to him, and they're like, what are you doing? You can't shoot a dog in here. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, it's just a target, man. He's like, that's so fucked up. You can't do that. What are you even talking about? And he's like, well, you don't understand. There's like these really nasty dogs in my neighborhood, man. So like, I just need to practice. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. If you haven't seen Atlanta, it's such a good show.
What's it about?
It's about
Shooting dogs.
it's about this guy who's very down on his luck in Atlanta. It takes place in Atlanta, and his
Shocker.
yeah, his cousin is an up and coming rapper. So
Even
he's
bigger shocker.
yeah, he's convinced his cousin essentially to let him be his manager. And so it's kind of the story of them like working their way up in the rap game, but it's a comedy, so the plot doesn't necessarily take itself super seriously.
Cool.
Gotcha.
So is the rapper Dolan
No.
Glover?
No,
Oh, what?
yeah,
Wait,
don't,
That's funny.
yeah,
That makes no sense.
I mean, like, I think he produces the tracks that are in it, but no, he's not the rapper.
Damn.
Yeah.
Surprised he wouldn't put himself in. In fact, speaking of which, did you guys hear about the Deadpool TV show that he was meant to be? He
Yeah.
was writing and directing or whatever.
It was canceled.
Yeah.
And then it got cancelled before it even came fucking out, and so
Yeah.
he just like leaked all the script like on his
Mhm.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why he did that is they, like, Disney or whatever, when they talked about it, they said some stuff about like, well, it wasn't really like in the works all that much. Like Donald was busy and all that stuff. They weren't blaming him, but they
Bullshit.
were like,
yeah, they were.
they were kind
Yeah.
of blaming him.
They kind of
essentially.
were. Yeah.
And he's like, no.
I fucking wrote the whole thing.
Yeah.
You dumbasses. Here's the last episode.
He released the finale script. It sounds like Disney canceled it. Like,
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I think because it was definitely like a dark, and Deadpool was meant to be fucking dark, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, this doesn't fit into our family-friendly beliefs.
So it's like,
yeah.
shut the fuck
It was going to
up,
be on
man.
FX, and it's by the same studio that did Archer. If you saw like
Oh,
some of the pre-roll stuff they did, it's very
that
Archer
would be-
looking.
that
That
sounds
would be
awesome.
Yeah.
Sick.
And
That
there's no
sounds
way
fucking
that Fox
sick.
canceled that. Like they
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's so
No way.
unfortunate, man.
It's
that would have
right
been
up their
fucking
alley.
awesome.
oh, it would have been
Yeah.
great. Would have been so
God
good.
damn it.
Archer.
Yeah, that sucks.
They probably would have got Nolan North to voice Deadpool too.
Hell yeah.
That'd
Because
be so
he did
dope.
Deadpool in
The video
was he
game.
the
Yeah.
video games. Yeah,
I could
He is a good Deadpool.
he was a good Deadpool. Yeah.
But
Who's Nolan North not good at?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That guy
Yeah.
nails everything.
Yeah.
him and Troy Baker can pretty much do anything.
Well,
they can voice everybody on the planet.
yeah, there only needs to be like 2 voice actors. Just Troy Baker
Well,
and Nolan North.
Nolan North was asked one time at like Comic-Con or something, by a fan, like, "Hey, I'm an up and coming, like, I want to be a voice actor. Do you have any advice?" And his advice was, "Yes, wait for
I've
me
heard
and
about
Troy
this.
Baker to die."
Yes.
That's fucking great.
Heard
dude.
that.
Those 2 are fucking legends.
Oh
I
yeah.
fucking I love them both so much.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you've heard Nolan North's like story, it was not what he wanted at all. Like at first, it wasn't what he expected. If that makes sense.
Oh, I have not. I've not
Really?
heard the story.
Yeah,
You
he
wanna fill
tried.
us in?
Yeah, he tried. He was on this podcast I was watching. And, well, it was more of an interview than a podcast. But anyway, and he came to LA to be an actor, and he was in like a couple shows as just like a extra, you know. And then his agent was like, "Hey, would you consider voice acting? There's this studio, this game studio or something that needs someone to do some like extra voices or whatever for this game." He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Like, I'll as well, you know." Like at that point, money was money. He'd do anything, you know.
Yeah.
And so he shows up to the studio, and he records for like an hour, just doing these like random little voices or whatever, like Bandit #1 and everything.
Yeah.
And then when it was over, they handed him $200, and he's like, "Really? Okay." And then he told his agent, like, "I do more of that," and then like, then he got like a real role in some video game, but he was still pretty much no one when he got the Uncharted gig.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That was
Was
like his big
Uncharted
break.
his?
That was his big
Yeah,
break.
Yeah, that was his breakout
Uncharted.
role. Yeah.
I absolutely love that game.
And then he was in AC2. He was Desmond. So
Yeah.
was it AC2 and 1, I think. So and 3 actually, because Desmond's in all 3. I think he dies. Desmond dies in the 3rd one. So, but yeah.
Oh,
So,
spoilers!
and then yeah,
That's
and
actually
then
the
since
reason
then
I
he's
stopped
like
playing
exploded.
Assassin's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Is
because
it,
it's
is
just
it
like
actually?
they killed off the main character. What the fuck are they gonna do?
And no one really cared about. I didn't really care about the side of the Abstergo shit though. Like the real world shit. Like I didn't care about that.
I
Like,
wanted to.
No, I didn't really either, but it's just like I just feel like they did it because they had nowhere to go from there, and I know
Yeah.
that they were just like gonna start all over
Yeah.
and like with some random shit. I just
I mean,
didn't really want
I
to.
think it's a really cool premise, but the way that it was delivered in every game was just terrible. Because you didn't ever want to go back into the real world. You
Yeah.
just wanted to fucking.
But-
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even
By
though
the
it's
way-
interesting, it's like.
Squat, if you're watching this, sorry that we're ripping on your favorite games here,
Yeah.
but
Oh, it's AC his favorite series, is it?
Yeah, he
oh
loves
yeah,
it.
Fury Squatch loves like all the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, I mean, teach their own.
What, all of them? Every single one?
I think he said he wasn't a huge
Uh-oh.
fan of Syndicate,
I,
but like that was the only one.
I think
Oh,
he was
really?
aware that
He's
there
not
were
one
some
of them.
weaker titles, like
Yeah, for
He-
sure.
he
for
said
sure.
the
I mean,
last
there's some
couple turned around.
actual ass ones, like literal ass ones. But Black Flag, I'll always be a proponent of that fucking amazing game for sure.
I see. I kind of wish that had been my last one because
Dude, you should still play it. Like
Yeah.
honestly, it is fucking amazing. Like
Well, we got one of the expansions, like the standalone expansion for PlayStation Plus, Kyle.
Oh, you should play that. Yeah, the one with Adewale. It's like his first crewman on his ship. I forget what the guy's name is. Fucking
So
Edwin. Is
I
it
feel
Edwin?
like me and Bivens are in the same boat. Like, oh man, I'm sure it is a great game, but I have like zero interest in going back.
No, it's fair enough, to be honest. But like, if you ever want to just fucking sail the seas and sing some sea shanties and fucking go whaling
Sea of
and shit,
Thieves.
oh, it's so good, man.
Oh, just
oh,
play Sea of Thieves.
CFD.
Yeah.
no,
No,
but Sea of Thieves is ass.
Wasn't it? It was either this last E3 or the one before, but like Ubisoft like unveiled a game that looked like it was pretty much just like Black Flag's like ship combat, but it was like its own game.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be fucking awesome.
You're not
No,
talking
I'm
about
pretty.
you're not talking about like Skies of Icarus.
I don't know what it's called, honestly.
I don't remember.
Skies of
But
Icarus.
I
is
remember
like,
seeing it, and it was from Ubisoft, and I'm pretty sure they like specifically mentioned Black Flag, just like everybody loved the ship combat in Black Flag, so we're just gonna give you like a game of it.
nice.
Just like upgrading your ship and like when you
That would
maxed
be
out your
super
ship,
dope.
it was so much like it was so fucking good. Like you could
So
take
good.
on like 3 ships at a time when you had your ship maxed out. Like, it was fucking great.
That's lit.
But I still remember whaling Moby Dick in Black Flag. It's like monumental moment when you pull up that fucking white whale.
Oh, Moby Dick is actually in Black Flags.
Well,
Really?
it's not Moby Dick himself, but it's like there's
huge
like
white
whale. There's a white whale, and like
Okay.
it
It's Moby
shows up
Dick.
like so rarely in the game, and so when it does, like you need to fucking like go for
Do
it.
it,
But it's
yeah.
so strong that like you need to have your whaling boat like completely maxed out and all
Whaling's
to get it.
long, right?
That
now.
sounds
No, it is.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so anti whaling, and then when I went and played that game, I was like,
I want to kill
he
him.
was converted. Rhino was converted.
I'm not even joking. Like, I
No
remember
one
being
said
like,
it was
this
fun.
is so fucked. And then I was like, oh, this is fucking like just it's a fucking video game, obviously. But when you're fucking playing it, you're like, damn, this is so much fucking fun. Like, oh.
No, you played this video game and you killed this whale. That means that you want to kill whales in real life.
You're right. I forget about.
Yeah, yeah, fucking idiot. You've been desensitized. You've been completely desensitized and brainwashed. You monster.
Video games are bad.
You wouldn't even hesitate to spear a whale in real life.
I believe it.
I actually think that would convert most people. Like at first you think it's fucked, but you like by the end you're like having so much fun doing it that it's just that it's okay.
Oh, I don't doubt it. It sounds really fun to me.
Oh yeah, that's great. Good memories. But that's probably the only AC game that I actually love. I think the rest were kind of like a bit meh to me.
See, Revelations was my favorite.
Yeah, I mean the Ezio trilogy was really good. To be fair,
I loved Revelations because it had both Ezio and Altair, the original one.
Yeah. Ezio Auditore.
Yeah.
Ezio Auditore.
Honestly, though, like at least up until like Black Flags, pretty much the best thing about Assassin's Creed was the fucking trailers. Assassin's Creed has some of the best trailers ever.
Good trailers.
Like, they're actually really fucking good. The Assassin's Creed 3 trailer is no, shut the fuck up. Not the movie, fucker. But you need to watch Assassin's Creed, the Assassin's Creed 3 trailer. It's probably one of my favorites.
The Revolution one.
Yeah, it's the civil. Yeah, that's the Revolution.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. I was like, "This game was awesome." Never bought it. I was super hyped.
You probably wouldn't have finished it anyway.
Nope, I promise I wouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that.
Dude, I typed out my backlog. 25 games.
Wow.
That's
What?
a lot.
I just got a bunch of stuff.
That's probably not as many games as Rhino still has wrapped in plastic wrap sitting at his house.
I want to go through and count them all one day. I reckon it's like there's got to be like 40 plus games that I haven't played.
Aaron hasn't heard about that, but Rhino literally buys games and leaves them in the wrap and just doesn't
Dude,
play them.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that. That's the best part of buying new video games.
It's so when I start playing, it's like I freshly unwrapped the plastic, and it's such a nice fucking feeling, dude. I fucking love it. I'm like obsessed with like keeping things in like mint condition, and I hate it when like, people like touch my shit. I'm like, can you get your fucking fingers off, like your cheesy ass fingers off of my video games? Like, what the actual fuck are you doing?
But you need to play the games that you
I will.
bought, right?
I will
No,
one
you
day.
won't. You won't though.
How many
You
of
know
those
the fun
games are
thing?
PS3 games?
Oh, that's what I was about to say, Aaron. I'm not even joking. I think there's at least 25 of them.
Oh my god, you
What the
animal.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think about like my collection, evaluating how much I've spent, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that because I'll just feel like a bad person if I fucking
You are a bad person. You want to conserve water, but you're fine wasting plastic.
do. Oh, it's not wasting it. It's gonna sit there
It's
for eternity.
wasting! You're doing nothing with them.
Well, no, it sits there and it looks good on show. It's in my nice cube bookshelf. Looks fucking sick.
You trash.
Can you send us a picture of your games?
Oh my god, yeah. Like, so I've just recently packed up all my shit. When I unpack it, I will show you guys my
You
collection.
pack up your shit for
Are
me.
you moving?
Yeah. Oh, hopefully soon. Yeah.
Coming to the States?
Hey!
I wish. Please.
No, definitely not.
The land
Why
of
are you moving?
opportunity.
You don't have to answer, but
He's too poor to afford his current place.
No, just like want a more central location, so get a few houses in there.
Do
So
you
it's just like,
do you live with your girlfriend?
well, like pretty much, like, cause
So that's a
like,
no.
Yeah.
Because
No,
of his
well,
dad.
so it's like we don't have our own place, but we split time between each other's houses, if that makes sense.
Okay,
But
okay, that's
Yeah.
fair.
we basically never spend a night apart, so we essentially do.
That,
Okay.
that makes sense.
that's fair.
So, But yeah, but we're looking at getting a place and getting a few roomies
Together? Oh my gosh. Hey, what's the rent? I might move in with you.
Oh yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. We'll have a spare room. I'm not even fucking joking, dude.
Hell yeah,
let's
give me a
do it.
quote on
Aaron,
it.
Aaron does want to like move somewhere worth. So
Dude,
Say
how
again.
cool would that be if he actually moved? Oh man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Let's
gonna go
fucking do
shot.
it. Let's fucking do it, dude. That sounds fucking lit.
you're the
I'm not even
DM.
joking.
You have to
Yeah,
stay.
I know.
You're the DM.
the DM has to.
We have
No,
to
you
get
can just
like
voice call in, dude.
we have to get like
There's a voice
several
conference.
cameras so I can make sure no one's like fudging their rolls and I can like check.
All you have to worry
Yeah.
about is Moises and Robert.
Yeah.
Would you abide by the rules at all times, Chills? Is that what you?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I'm not even kidding you.
Oh damn!
Like,
these are good
really?
issues.
Oh yeah, like
He's like
surprised
super
by that.
submissive.
I think he's
Yeah,
one
well,
of the I think
That
he's one
doesn't
of
sound
the,
like Kyle at all.
No, I
Doesn't.
think he's at least like at the same level. I mean, like you're definitely like you're at least tied for first. You know what I mean? Like of like level of it's like submitting
Following
to the
the
rules. Yeah, absolutely. Because
Submitting.
it's not fun if like D&D's not fun unless you like respect the roles.
Is this what a compliment feels like?
Yeah, you're great.
Holy shit. How's it feel?
It's immediately discarded because you will
Stop
go,
being nice to me. I don't like it.
you go
Stop.
out of your way to ask what every person's name is. So I have to keep a freaking backlog of 30,000 people that will never be
I can't
seen
stop
again.
now. It'd be out of character for me to not do so now.
This
Yeah.
is so weird to hear Kyle being the good two.
Right?
Like,
Please.
He's only the
I play
biggest
the game the
fucking
way
troll.
Yeah.
I play the game the way it's meant to be played.
Absolutely.
I try not to bitch and complain and whine
Uh-huh.
because it ruins it.
I don't
So how
think
come-
Destiny was ever made
Yeah.
to be.
How come you do those things in every other video game?
Yeah.
game?
Because those things are ass. Ass. It is bullshit.
Also, like, it's not required. Like, it's not an following the rules to the T in like a video game is not required for the experience to be like true and to like for the fun to actually be had. But if you're like fudging rolls in D&D or like manipulating things, it's not fun because it's not about like winning the game. It's about like experiencing the story. So sometimes the best moments are when you fail. Like if you're always succeeding, that gets boring so freaking fast. Variety is the spice of life.
Fair.
I mean, but it's so out of character. Also,
Rhino, you fucking cheat so much, man. Don't give me that.
yeah. So, what's wrong with that?
Goes from taking a compliment to
Yeah, the
fucking cheat.
fucking cheese lord playing D&D. I'd love to see that.
Oh,
Dude, I'd fucking be the best, man. I play the meta game so hard.
Oh,
Fuck
and
yeah.
so here's
Dude,
how I DM Rhino.
Rhino it would be the type of person before going into a D&D, like playing his very first time, he would like look up on
Research?
Google,
Yeah,
like
I'd research the most OP
best
shit.
D&D class build.
Best
D&D
loadout
class
for
build.
D&D.
Oh yeah,
He would. He actually
would.
would. It's not a joke.
yeah. He'd be an
GPS
he'd
needs to be optimized, man.
yeah. He would be an arcane archer, and everywhere he go, he would ask, "Where can I get a quiver, like a feather quiver, I think it's called, and a plus whatever bow." That's all he would ever ask. Where can I
Fuck yeah.
Where can I get the
Wait.
quiver that holds 1,000 arrows so I never have to
Aaron,
change?
can you just repeat that so I can write it down for my next dad?
I will not. No, see I
You
have
can go
a
back and listen.
I have a philosophy, Rhino. As a DM, I will only meta as much as my players. So,
So, does that mean you would cheese me back? Is that what you're trying to say?
I would cheese you with the wrath of God.
Oh.
You think you can cheese me? I'm the universe, bitch!
Oh, fuck. Maybe I'd have to play submissive then, just so the DM's
It's
on my
not being
side.
submissive, it's doing it right. There's nothing submissive about it, of like respecting the game. I mean, you also got to consider like the amount of time I have to put into this. Like you're disrespecting me. Literally, you're disrespecting the work I put into it. If you're just gonna sit there and try and break the game,
It's a lot more serious than I thought.
why
I know, right?
why would I spend 12 hours
I just wanna-
preparing a campaign just for
Aaron,
just for you to show
Aaron,
up?
that's why I asked the name of everybody, because I'm respecting the work that you put into the game.
Of course. Why did
Because I
see
know
it
you'll
that
have an
way?
answer for me.
Mhm.
You know?
That's true.
Unfortunately,
This is
because of you, I
disrespecting
do
the
have
work.
to have an answer.
I actually want to play fucking D&D now.
Maybe like
Oh,
if we
hell
hit
yeah.
a milestone, we should do like a D&D campaign.
We could do like a one shot.
Yeah.
What's
Like-
that? What's
A one shot is it's a campaign that's just one session. Like the whole story's wrapped up in one
Oh,
day.
fuck yeah. Let's do it. How long would that take, though? Is that like still
Yeah.
12 hours?
I mean, it could be as long as we want it to be,
Oh, fuck.
but like the time goes by faster than you'd think, man.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean, if that's something Aaron's down for, maybe we set a mile.
We can do it. Let's get like a Skype group call cranking so I can see you fuck it.
Oh hell yeah! I would definitely do it. I would 100% do that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Why don't we do? We should make it like a subscriber milestone.
How many? What's a decent?
20.
20?
Honestly, honestly, like 50, 100 was my thought. But
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like
Let's
at this
savor it.
point, 20 could still be who knows how far away.
Maybe for either like 100 subs or our year anniversary.
Hmm. I mean, I'd
Mm,
like to
that's
do
a
it
good
before a year.
Okay.
I like that.
I want to do.
Same.
I want.
Because it
I
sounds fun. I
Yeah.
want to do it now.
I know. I was just gonna say I want to do it next week. Why don't we make it episode 20? Even that's too far away. How about we celebrate the 12th episode with
Yeah.
the
Hell
TSS
yeah.
special?
Hard as
Oh.
fuck.
Oh, God.
I'm fired up now.
Oh, I love it.
Is everyone going to say it? Aaron,
I'm
please.
fired up now!
I'm fired up now.
Kyle, you need more vigor. You need more vigor in it, dude. You need to get.
Here's the thing.
Show 'em how it's
That's-
done.
yeah,
Show 'em
yeah.
how it's
No.
done.
Show us how it's done. Then.
No, definitely not. No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm not
what
gonna do
the
that.
fuck? Why the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Fired up now.
Was that Rhino?
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
had to be.
yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
That was way deeper than I was expecting.
Yeah, get ready for your remix, Rhino.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Aaron is gonna play with that so much.
Oh, dude. Okay, let me write down the.
What was the song at the end of that? You like singing "I don't want to make you do something" like that.
Yeah,
What the
dude.
fuck was that? Dude? I was like, I couldn't tell if someone was whispering or like whether you had like played it over the fucking like the recording. I was so confused, man. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
So I was in like if you listen to the intro song of that episode, it is so weird. I was just in a weird like creative mood. So like the song I created is just like really weird chord thing, and then there's a point where I just was slamming on the keyboard.
This sounds like me after an energy drink.
Yeah, like it literally sounds like some
That was
Doki
one of my
Doki stuff.
favorite stories, Kyle. Love that.
Yeah. Right, you'll have to watch the next episode so you can find out what happens to me when I take an energy drink.
Yeah,
Great.
Oh, is this in weekly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was in the Furious episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, it was a good
I haven't watched it on yet.
episode.
I'll listen to it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
had
I
to.
know.
I've got a backlog. Shit.
I watched that with Abby, and man, oh man, did her jaw drop the whole time. She's like, I can't believe you guys. It was hilarious. It was so funny. It was fun to watch. Kyle, I definitely show your mom that one. Like, if you're going to introduce her to the show, I'd give her that one. It can only go up from there.
I don't see it that way.
We definitely.
I don't know. I thought last week's episode was awesome. I died. I laughed a lot.
Yeah,
That's
there's something different about last week.
Oh, shut the fuck up. I saw this coming. Set up.
And
Shut
we're
the fuck
now
up, Chelsea.
entering the first minute of sucking our own dicks.
Wonder what was different the last 2 weeks. I can't put my finger on it. What could it be?
Oh, what could it be? Who even knows?
Have only yourself to blame.
No, I missed you.
Har
Ryan.
har.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the same without you.
I missed
You
your
need to
soft
stop leaving.
embrace.
Oh, here comes the nice compliment.
did-
You guys are just
no,
buttering
we-
me up now.
We did
Fucking
actually
fake
miss
as
you.
fuck.
I missed the ringing in my ears after like recording with you.
It's like a flashbang.
Yeah.
Fucking wow.
All
So
right.
nice to meet you, Wilson.
So,
Absolutely.
I'll haunt your dreams, dude.
Get
I'll fucking
your-
do it like
get
I
your
did.
time-
Don't threaten
Timers
me with a
out.
good time. It's better than you being nice to me. I can tell you
That's
that
what I
one.
mean by haunting your
I can
dreams.
hear
dude.
Aaron trying to start the
Yeah.
Come and be
outro.
nice to you.
I'll do it.
get your timers out and let's see if I can get this done in less than 10 minutes.
I doubt
Quit
it.
bitching and just do it, Aaron,
Yeah,
okay?
just do it, Aaron. Go away complaining. Come on, Jesus.
Don't you remember the Bachelor episode where you kept like harassing
Oh.
Ryder? It was like, just keep going, keep going.
And then you harass me 10 seconds later. Motherfucker.
All right. This has been the Weekly Whatever. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at the Weekly Whatever. We are super active with polls and questions to get you all in the show. We want to talk about what you want to talk about. So hit us up. All right. This podcast is available on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean. All right. Plenty of
Grinder.
options.
Grinder.
Plenty of options.
Don't
for your
forget Grinder.
Plenty of options.
Aaron, don't forget Grinder.
Grindr.
You have to please plug,
Grindr.
please plug Grinder.
Also, and Grinder, of course. This podcast is available. Oh shit! I already said that, man.
All right, don't overdo it, okay? Don't get too
I didn't fucking
excited.
me, it was you. What the fuck?
Plenty of options
Oh, this is awesome.
for your subscription preferences. Okay, make sure you subscribe and smash that like button. If we get 10,000 likes, Kyle's gonna do a backflip,
Oh, hell yeah.
and Rhino will
Not this, Kyle.
send nudes.
Dude,
Oh,
Kyle,
hell yeah.
Kyle broke his arm
Absolutely.
trying to go into a swimming pool. I love to see him do a
What
backflip.
the fuck? How did you break your arm in a swimming pool? It's water. What?
No, it was like
he
one
was
of those
climbing
pop-up
up. He was climbing up the ladder.
Wait! Don't say it. We'll leave that for tidbit. We'll open that with tidbit.
Okay,
If you want to
okay.
know how he broke his arm in a swimming pool, watch the
To
tidbit
be
Tuesday.
continued. To be continued.
All right, we have plenty of options. Oh god damn it! I've said this. All right.
Okay.
We have a
Jesus Christ.
Discord.
Yes,
We
This is
have a
awesome.
Discord. We have a Discord. Check it out. Join us in. Drop us suggestions. Chat it up.
man.
It's lit in there. #DAP. Okay.
Oh,
Crap like this.
Seriously?
I am one of your
Be like
hosts,
this.
Aaron. You can find me at Twitter at _ the
At-
_. God, okay, let me start over. At _ the _ lizard _
I am the lizard!
God, we're just shit posting at this point. Rhino, where can people find you?
At Chilson115 and on Twitch at Chilson.
You can find me on Twitter at Rindox and also on twitch.tv/Chilson. That's me.
It's not even actually his Twitch, is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
What?
whatever.
Is it? Oh no. Oh, it is. Oh, oh.
All right, Chilson,
Yeah.
how can
How does it
listeners
feel?
find you?
How does it feel to know that Rhino just proved himself to be a better friend than you?
Than me?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's rude.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It was meant. It was meant to hurt.
Fired.
Is this
It
what
was
you...
meant to hurt.
Boom, boom.
I thought we had something special.
Twitter at Tilson115 and Twitch.tv is just Chilson.
All right,
That's my Twitch. What the fuck?
and
Whoa.
Oreo.
Sorry, Chilson XXX360
Oh, fuck
XXX. Yeah.
No scope. Go with MLG Dorito scope.
And Kyle, where can people find you?
Anywhere and everywhere, Oreo, ER.
All right, good to hear, new best friend. Check in next week for more whatevers.
Bye-bye.
Take it easy.
What the? Okay.
Oh, stop.